The first time you've stared at a screen and felt your heart pound in sync with a character's longing, you might have wondered why that particular story pulled you in so fiercely. Imagine a scene where two souls, each wrapped in their own quiet storms, lock eyes across a crowded room, and the air between them shivers with an unspoken promise. You can almost feel the invisible thread tugging at your own chest, whispering that something impossible is waiting just beyond your reach. That is the kind of pull that has haunted lovers, writers, and dreamers for centuries. Have you ever felt that same magnetic tug? Not just toward a person but toward a version of love that feels like it belongs in another time, another world? You sit alone, scrolling through endless profiles, and a particular image, a particular smile, ignites a fire you can't quite contain. The feeling is intoxicating, yet it also leaves you with a hollow echo. Why does this feel so right, yet so unattainable? It is a paradox that has driven countless hearts to the brink of obsession, to the point where the line between desire and delusion blurs. In the shadows of our modern lives, where connection is often reduced to pixels and fleeting gestures, the yearning for that impossible love feels both urgent and forbidden. It is the kind of longing that whispers in the quiet moments after midnight, when the world has slipped into darkness and the mind is free to wander. It is the urge that compels you to read a novel that never ends, to watch a film that never quite fits, to chase a memory that feels like a dream you can't let go of. It is the same ancient pull that has guided mystics, poets, and philosophers, who believe that the most profound truths are hidden in the spaces between what we can see and what we can feel. The mystery is that this yearning is not just a personal quirk, it is a shared human experience, etched into the very fabric of our collective psyche. It is the echo of archetypes that have lived in the shadows of our ancestors' myths, the whisper of a shadow self that seeks a counterpart. Yet, how many of us truly understand the forces that shape this longing? How many of us have paused to consider that the very thing we chase may be a mirror of something deeper within us, a reflection of a longing that is both a curse and a gift? What if the impossible love you crave is not a distant ideal, but a doorway, an invitation to step into a realm where the ordinary dissolves and the extraordinary takes root? What if the stories that haunt you are not just tales, but maps that point to hidden energies, to synchronicities that have been waiting for the right seeker? Imagine that the very act of fantasizing about love that cannot be found in the ordinary world is, in fact, a ritual, a silent pact with the unseen forces that govern destiny and desire. As you listen now, let your breath slow, let your mind open to the subtle currents that flow beneath the surface of everyday life. Feel the weight of your own heart, the pulse of your pulse, the way it beats in time with the world around you. It is here, in this moment of quiet curiosity, that the journey begins, not toward an answer, but toward a revelation that will challenge everything you thought you knew about longing, about love, and about the shadows that dance in the corners of your mind. The ache that grips you when you think of that unattainable romance is not merely a whimsical fancy. It is a summons from a deeper realm that has always lived beneath the surface of our conscious thoughts. Imagine, for a moment, a vast, ancient library, its shelves stretching into the ether, each tome bound in darkness yet glowing with hidden knowledge. Within that library, the stories you read are not just narratives but keys, each one unlocking a corridor that leads straight into the heart of your own shadow. Consider the Jungian idea of the anima and animus, those unseen companions that mirror the opposite gender within us. When you find yourself drawn to a love that seems forever out of reach, perhaps you are engaging with that inner counterpart, attempting to reconcile a part of yourself that feels incomplete. This isn't about idealizing another. It's about completing a piece of your own psyche that has been left unfinished. Have you ever noticed that the most compelling characters in your dreams are those who embody a trait you desperately need? Maybe it is courage, patience, or the capacity to love without conditions. The impossible love you chase may be a reflection of that internal longing. Now, let's shift our gaze to the collective unconscious, that vast reservoir of archetypal images shared by all humanity. Within it lies the archetype of the lost lover, a figure that embodies the promise of reunion and the pain of separation. When you find yourself captivated by stories of star-crossed lovers, you are not merely entertained. You are echoing a primordial narrative that has guided generations. This archetype is not static. It morphs with cultural shifts, yet its core remains the same, a yearning for a connection that transcends ordinary boundaries. Think of the way fairy tales, myths, and even modern films tap into this motif, each time reinforcing the idea that some love is meant to be unattainable, to keep us striving. Another layer of intrigue emerges when we examine the role of synchronicity. Coincidental events that feel too meaningful to be random can serve as signposts on your path. Imagine walking down a street and bumping into someone who instantly feels familiar, as if you had shared a lifetime together. That encounter might not be mere chance. It could be a synchronicity nudging you toward the deeper truth you seek. In the realm of the occult, such moments are often interpreted as messages from the unseen, guiding you to confront the parts of yourself that resist integration. Let's bring in the mystical practice of sigils, symbols created to manifest intent. When you design a sigil for the love you desire, you are not just wishing for a romantic partner. You are encoding a specific intention into the fabric of reality. The act of crafting a sigil forces you to clarify what you truly want, moving beyond vague fantasies to a precise, actionable desire. This process invites the subconscious to align with your conscious goals, bridging the gap between the imagined and the attainable. What does all this mean for you in the present moment? When you feel that magnetic pull toward an impossible love, pause and ask yourself, what part of me is calling out? Is it a suppressed desire for authenticity, a need for a mirror of my own soul, or perhaps a longing for a transformative experience that will reshape my identity? By naming the source, you begin to dissolve the illusion that the love is external. Instead, you recognize that the love you seek resides within, waiting to be acknowledged and integrated. Furthermore, consider how your environment can either amplify or dampen this yearning. A dimly lit room, a flickering candle, a playlist of haunting melodies, all can create a trance-like state where the boundary between the real and the imagined blurs. Use these tools intentionally. Set a ritual space where you can explore your fantasies without judgment. As you do, observe how the emotions shift from longing to acceptance, from desperation to peace. In this labyrinth of desire, the most powerful discovery is that the impossible love you chase is a mirror reflecting your deepest truths. By engaging with archetypal energies, acknowledging your shadow, and harnessing occult practices, you transform the yearning from a source of pain into a catalyst for self-awakening. The next time you feel that irresistible tug, remember, you are not chasing a stranger, you are inviting a part of yourself to step into the light. Reflecting on this journey so far, you may find yourself standing at the crossroads of two realms, the familiar terrain of everyday longing and the shadowed corridor where the impossible love dwells. In this liminal space, the threads of psychological insight and occult intuition intertwine, forming a tapestry that is far richer than any single strand could suggest. The subtle resonance of archetypal patterns, the silent hum of hidden energies, and the quiet echo of your own inner voice coalesce, creating a rhythm that beckons you forward. Imagine, if you will, a river that has carved its way through stone over millennia. Each bend is not merely a change in direction but a testament to persistence, to the forces that shape its course. In the same way, the currents of desire and self-discovery have guided your thoughts, pulling you toward a horizon that feels both distant and intimately familiar. The river's flow is neither abrupt nor stagnant. It is a gentle, relentless motion that invites you to surrender to its pace. As you trace its path, you notice how each ripple carries a memory, each eddy a lesson, and each surge a promise of transformation. The convergence of these currents invites a quiet awareness of how the unseen and the seen dance together. When you consider the way your subconscious has whispered its truths into the folds of your conscious experience, you begin to sense a pattern that is less about the specifics of any one narrative and more about the architecture of your own psyche. The architecture is built of arches and vaults that support the weight of your aspirations, and the light that filters through cracks reveals the possibility of renewal. It is in this light that the impossible love, once a distant star, becomes a constellation of moments, each a fragment of your own inner landscape, refracted and reshaped by your willingness to look beyond the veil. You might feel, at this juncture, that the path ahead is illuminated not by a single lantern but by a constellation of lanterns, each burning with a different hue: hope, curiosity, resilience, and a quiet surrender. Together, they illuminate a corridor that stretches toward a horizon that is at once familiar and new. The corridor is not a straight line. It is a spiraling staircase that invites you to ascend, to peer deeper into the chambers of your own heart. Each step is a decision, each breath a choice, and each pause a moment of reflection that strengthens the foundation beneath you. As you walk this path, you may notice that the weight of longing has shifted. No longer does it feel like a burden that clings to your chest. Instead, it feels like a compass that points toward a direction you have yet to explore. The compass's needle, once uncertain, now spins with a steady rhythm, guided by a harmony that resonates with both the ancient and the contemporary. This harmony is not a song you can hum. It is a silence that speaks louder than words, a space where the impossible love becomes a mirror that reflects your own growth. In this space, The line between yearning and being is blurred. The yearning that once seemed like a distant echo now feels like a familiar heartbeat, a rhythm that synchronizes with the pulse of your own existence. The impossible love, once a phantom, now appears as a possibility that is waiting to be embraced, not as a destination but as a process of becoming. The process is a dance, one that invites you to step in harmony with the unseen, to move with grace and intention, and to let the music of your own soul guide each step. As you stand at this threshold, the anticipation of what lies beyond is not a question to be answered but a doorway to be opened. The door, framed by the lessons you have gathered, invites you to step forward with confidence, curiosity, and an open heart. It is in this moment that the narrative of your own journey takes on a new texture, one that is woven from threads of insight, intuition, and the quiet courage to explore the unknown. The path ahead, though still shrouded in mystery, is illuminated by the knowledge that you are not alone in this quest. The very forces that once seemed distant are now companions, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of the love that has always been within you. In the quiet aftermath of our exploration, the mystery of impossible love dissolves not into a tidy answer but into an invitation, a call to step beyond the familiar and into the living pulse of our own shadowed depths. The yearning that once seemed to cling to an external ideal now becomes a mirror, reflecting the untamed parts of ourselves that crave connection, authenticity, and a sense of belonging that transcends the ordinary. When we confront this longing, we are not merely chasing an unattainable romance. We are inviting the hidden facets of our psyche to surface, to be acknowledged, and to be integrated into the whole of our being. This process is not a solitary quest. It is a dialogue between the conscious mind and the unseen currents that shape our destinies. The archetypal patterns that have guided humanity since the dawn of storytelling are not static relics. They are living templates that echo within each of us, offering a map for navigating the terrain of desire. By recognizing that the impossible love we chase is a reflection of our own incomplete narrative, we begin to rewrite the story, no longer as a victim of longing but as an author of our own destiny. The occult tools we have touched upon, sigils, ritual spaces, synchronicities, serve not as magical shortcuts but as mirrors that sharpen our awareness. They compel us to translate abstract desire into tangible intent, to bring the intangible into the realm of action. In doing so, the impossible transforms into a possibility that is not about external conquest but about internal alignment. The more we practice this alignment, the more the boundaries between what we imagine and what we experience begin to blur, creating a seamless continuum where desire and reality coexist in harmony. Yet, the most profound lesson lies in the surrender that accompanies this journey. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means releasing the grip of control over the outcome and trusting that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will weave the threads we have laid into a tapestry richer than any single thread could achieve. It is in this surrender that the impossible becomes a promise that the love we seek, though it may never appear in the form we expect, will manifest in ways that honor the integrity of our growth. As you carry this insight into the next chapters of your life, remember that the path toward impossible love is less about the destination and more about the transformation it catalyzes within you. Each moment of longing becomes an opportunity to peel back layers, to confront the shadows that refuse to be acknowledged, and to cultivate a love that is both self-generating and self-sustaining. The more you nurture this internal garden, the more fertile the soil becomes for genuine connection to flourish. The true practice begins now, in the quiet spaces between thoughts, in the pauses that allow the heart to breathe, and in the deliberate act of aligning intention with action. It is a practice of listening to the whispers of your own soul, of honoring the archetypal calls that reverberate through your unconscious, and of inviting the unseen energies to co-create with you. When you do, you discover that the impossible love you once chased is no longer a distant star but a constellation that you helped to chart, each point a reflection of your own resilience, curiosity, and capacity for growth. In this way, the pursuit of impossible love becomes a lifelong dance, one that invites you to move with grace, to embrace the unknown, and to find beauty in the mystery itself. Let this be your guiding star, that the longing you feel is not a flaw to be fixed but a compass pointing toward the fullest expression of your humanity. May you walk this path with courage, knowing that every step, whether taken in darkness or light, brings you closer to the love that already resides within you.